Okay, we're back to do chapter 3. Now, make sure that you have your assignment pulled up. Here is the financial statement analysis semester-long assignment, because you'll want to copy and paste from that assignment. Have your Excel file open, because we're going to continue with the same file. If for some reason you need to get those open before I continue, just go ahead and pause the video. For those of you now have it all open, let's add chapter 3 tab. So we come down here, add a new sheet, double click, chapter 3. Please make sure these are in order. You should have your statements first, your stock sheet second, chapter 1, 2, and 3 in order. If for some reason you need to move a sheet, all you do is click and hold, and you can move it wherever it needs to be. All right, so we're going to start chapter 3. So the first thing we want to do is go see what our requirements are. So we're going to go down to chapter 3, and we have 6 requirements in chapter 3. So the first, let's just go ahead and copy it over to our sheet. Come down just maybe one. And again, I'm getting this problem with the numbers, but that's okay. I'm going to make this a little bit wider so that I can see the whole question, wrap the text. This is number 1. Okay, so number 1 says calculate the debt to asset ratio for the past 2 years. So what is the debt to asset ratio? Well, it is total liabilities divided by total assets. All right, I'm going to justify this just to make it neat. And then I need it for the last 2 years. So whatever the last 2 years of your company, where am I going to find liabilities and assets? Well, I'm going to find them on the balance sheet. Before I do that, I think I'm going to insert a row here so I have a place to put the years. Now remember, I have very funky years. I have 2021 and 2019 because of the year end of my company. It's really 2020 and 2019. It's very confusing. All right, so let's go back and we're going to look at the balance sheet. Now, the first thing I want to do is look for my total liabilities. So I have right here, here's my current liabilities. Here's my total current. Now, what it does not look like is I do not have an actual total liabilities. So down here, I have a total equity and liabilities. So I need to insert in here a total. So I'm going to click right here. Whoops. Actually, I'm in the wrong place. Let me just delete that row. No big deal. And go down to here and insert a row. And now I'm going to title this, and I'm going to put it in a different color just so I know that I actually did this. So I'll just put it in red. Total liabilities. And then what I need is the total of the current liabilities, which is right here, all the way down to the bottom. So I need from line 18 to line 23. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to equal sum, and I'm going to click on 18 and highlight all the way to 23. I'm going to close my parentheses and press enter. So here's my total liabilities. Okay. Now I'm going to copy this over spaced right there. All right. So now I have the total liabilities numbers for the last 2 years. So now what do I need to do? I need to name this cell. So I'm going to put total. Again, I'm going to use my camel letters. Liabilities. For me, I'm going to put 2021. And then here, I'm going to click and I'm going to put total. Oops. Total liabilities. No space, 2020. Okay, so now I have those named. I'm going to go up and look for my total assets. And guess what? I've already named those from before. So great. So now I'm going to go back to my chapter 3. And for total liabilities, I'm going to just put in my equal sign and start typing. And I'll see my total liabilities. Just press enter. And then here, do it again, total, and I want the other year. Press enter. And then my total assets. Enter. And here. And please just ignore my dates. Because of the mix up with the dates, I've done it different ways. I should have done it all the same way. All right. So now we have our total liabilities and our total assets. I'm going to format this in comma so I can see some commas, take away my decimals. All right. And I want to divide total liabilities by total assets, and that will give me my debt to asset ratios. So I'm going to go equal, then divide by this. I'm going to turn this into a percentage and do 1 decimal place. I'm going to copy this formula to here. So hit the copy button, click here, click the paste button. I'm going to hit escape to get rid of my Hollywood lights. Okay, so I have calculated my debt to asset ratio. Last year, it was 69.9%. The year before, it was 68.4%. And so the debt to asset ratio, so I want to put my answer right here. The debt to asset ratio has gone up, but only slightly, because I would not say that was a big thing. Oh, before I do that, let me go ahead and insert a column, give myself some room. I want to show whether it's gone up or not. So change, put that here. And then here I'm going to go equal to this minus this. And that will tell me it's gone up 1.5%. Okay, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger and wrap it. And there we go. First one down. I'm going to go ahead and save my file. And then I'm going to go back to my sheet. Here's the next one. The next one we want to do is calculate the return on assets ratio. And we just did these in class, so hopefully this will ring a bell. Again, I'm going to paste. And you know I have that issue, so that's no big deal. Just going to get this straight. Wrap it. Okay. So my next question is calculate the return on assets ratio for the past 2 years. Has it gone up or down? So what is the return on assets ratio? It is, come down one line, net income divided by total assets. Okay. I'm going to write justify again just to make this easier to read and to look nicer. And I'm going to put my years up here. Okay. Now, my guess is net income is something I think we've dealt with before. So before I go back and look for it, I'm going to see if I've named it. So I'm going to go equal to, and I'm going to start typing net income. And look, I did it already. So here's net income 2020. If I did it, you should have done it. So equal net income 2019. It's that easy. That's the wonderful thing about naming some of these cells, because then you can use them anywhere and you don't have to keep going back to find them and maybe making a mistake by picking up the wrong number. We know we have our total assets number, so I'm going to just start typing. There's my total assets for that year and my total assets for this year. And obviously they should match up here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and format, take away the decimals, and now I'm going to do my math. So I want to take net income divided by total assets. I'm going to convert this into a percentage with 1 decimal place. I'm going to copy this formula over. Wow, look at that. That's pretty good. They are right on the mark. This is kind of a sign of a mature company, and the fact that their business was pretty steady over the last 2 years. And again, we want to calculate the change, which is going to be basically none. Negative 0.2%. It went down. So I'm going to say the return on assets ratio is about the same. And I'm going to word wrap that. All right. Now remember, because all of these numbers are coming from within the spreadsheet, we do not have to have a reference. If we were going someplace else to get the information, then we would have to have a reference and we would want to show evidence. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save again. I like to save. In fact, I was just working on something recently and lost a whole bunch of stuff in Excel. So I always like to save. I don't count on the autosave. All right, so number 3, let's copy that over. And this time I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to go to paste text only. Nope, it's still going to do it. If I go to paste special, and I think it's still going to do it. I'm still going to get that 3 there. I don't know why. It's okay. I'm going to cut and paste, and then I'm going to put my 3 in. And that's just fine. One little extra step. Okay, wrap text. So the next question says, in which year did the company appear to manage its assets most efficiently? So notice that both of these ratios deal with assets. In the term of liabilities, we're looking at how do we finance our assets? Do we finance them with liabilities or assets? And did we, in the second thing, it's how much do we earn based on assets? Now, since my numbers didn't change much, I don't really have a year in which they appeared to manage it more efficiently. I guess if anything, you'd say 2019, because their debt to asset ratio was down and their percentage, their return on assets was up that year, but it's such a marginal amount. If your debt to asset ratio goes up, way up, that's not typically very good. And if your return on assets goes down, that's not very good. So just knowing which ones, if this one should be going down, this one should be going up. If it's the opposite, then 1 year over the other. So in my case, I'm just going to write a little something here that says the ratios for both years are very close, and therefore it does not look like they had a year in which they managed more efficiently than the other. And instead of word wrapping here, I'm going to do something a little bit different, because you can see here, like if I make this column bigger, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these cells right here. So this is maybe a new thing. So if you go to this says merge and center, and then what I want to do now is wrap the text. And it looks like I might need to make this a little bit bigger to see everything. Okay, and then I probably want to go ahead and left justify. Okay, so you can merge cells and make rows bigger to make things look nicer. Now, this is kind of an odd use for Excel. I mean, it's a good use, but a lot of times Excel is just used for massive amounts of numbers. Every row has a number, every column has a number. But if you need to use Excel for something that's a little less uniform, you can actually, as I said, make the combined cells without having to combine columns. Okay, I'm going to save that. Go back to chapter 3. I'm going to copy question 4 and come down here. I'll go ahead and push this up and paste. Get this straight again. Now word wrap it. Okay, so now it's asking me calculate the return on equity ratio. All right, so what is the return on equity? Well, it is net income divided by total stockholders' equity. Okay, so I'm going to write justify that. Oh, and I'm going to add, I forgot it, my year, which is cool. That's all right, I can always add it. 2021. All right, now I know that I have my net income number, so I can just go ahead and put that in. Now what I don't remember is if I have my stockholders' equity. So let me start typing, and I do not see total stockholders' equity. So I didn't name that. So now I've got to go find it and name it, which is fine. So I'm going to find that on the balance sheet. And if I look down here, I will see this number right here, total stockholders' equity. That's the one I want to name these cells right here. Okay, so I'm going to go up here. And again, I'm going to say total. And I'm not going to shortcut it. I'm going to go ahead and use the entire name, right? Because when I go to the other sheet, I want to be able to know what exactly I did. And if I use a lot of abbreviations, and I only have to do this once, I may not know what I'm talking about if I use a lot of abbreviations. So I've now named those. So I'm going to go back to my chapter 3. Go to equals, and now I see my total stockholders' equity. I'll format these, commas again, no decimals. And now I'm going to do my math. So equal net income divided by equity. Basically, this is my return on my stockholders' equity. I'm going to format this into a percentage with 1 decimal place. Now I'm going to copy over to here. This company is very stable. Your company may or may not be as stable, so don't worry about it. So it wants to know again, has it gone up or down? So I'm going to type in here, change. And I'm going to go equal to that, to here. And we can tell it's gone up, but just barely. So over here, I'm going to type return on equity has gone up, but just slightly. I'm going to write my text. Okay. So we got that one done. This chapter is going to go a little bit quicker, which is good. Okay. Let's go up here. Command C. And we'll go here and paste. And again, I'll just get this neatened up. Seen me do this a lot already. Oops, on the wrong cell. Okay, now this question's a little bit more open-ended. Did the company's level of financial risk increase or decrease? So financial risk has to do with how leveraged you are. And in my case, their leverage is basically the debt to asset ratio. And it really didn't change much at all. So I would say their financial risk has not really increased or decreased. It's about the same. Everything looks pretty even. Now, again, you would want return on equity to go up. You would want return on assets to go up. You would probably want debt to asset ratio to go down or stay the same. If they're very similar, well, then the company's pretty much in the same condition it was before. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to write my ratios have been very stable for the past 2 years. And you would just do this in your own words. So the financial risk has not increased or decreased over the past 2 years. Okay, just a complete sentence, please. Okay, we want a complete sentence. So I'm going to go ahead, press enter, and wrap my text. And you can see that kind of looks funky. So I'm going to go ahead and combine these, merge and center. And then I can make this smaller because I don't need all that space now. And then I'm going to go ahead and make this left aligned. All right. Okay, so that's number 5. All right, let's go back to here. Now, the last thing is we don't really have to do anything there. We have to go get our stock price. So remember, just do it about the day. If you do both chapters in the same day or more than one chapter in the same day, just get them about a week apart. So let's, I don't even need to copy this one. So I'm going to go over to Chrome. And I want to go to Yahoo Finance. Again, you're going to put in your symbol. I'm AAP. get rid of the advertisement. I want the last close. So I want the previous close. So for me, it's 205.57. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my sheet and my stock. I'm going to put in today's date. Actually, it's Monday, so this would have been the close on the 28th, 25th. So it's the close of the previous day. If you're on a weekend, you have to go to the previous Friday. 205. Sorry, I've forgotten what it is. 57. You see the market's down today. And oh no, my stock has dropped quite a bit. Let's calculate the percentage drop. We can do the percentage increase, the percentage decrease from one time to the next. So let's go equal to this minus this divided by, whoops, this. That's not right. Oh, I have to put in my parentheses. And you can see, oops, I kind of put that in the wrong place. Copy, cut, sorry, and paste. Okay, you can see that if I put this in percentage with one decimal, stock dropped 7.7% since in 2 weeks. So that's just telling you the market's not doing very well. I don't think the automotive industry has had much going on lately. It doesn't look like Advanced Auto Parts is in any trouble. I think it's just the fact that there's a whole bunch of uncertainty in the market. But we'll see how I end up at the end of the semester. Okay, now I also want to put this price in the class stock page. So I'm going to just see if I can copy and paste this over. I haven't tried this, but I'm going to try. That way I don't have to remember it. So I'm going to go back to the class page. And remember that the stock sheet is underneath the financial statement analysis project. And here's the spreadsheet. I'm going to load it into a new window. And look, wow, everybody's got their stocks in there this time. That's awesome. Okay, I happen to be first. So I'm going to click here. And I'm going to see if I can just... Oh, all I need to do is paste the stock price. So let me go back. I'm just going to... I don't need the date. Escape. So I'm just going to copy... And I know that these are all approximate dates, but it would just be too complicated for us to all have the same date, I think. So it's no big deal. And there I go. I just pasted it in. Okay. So my stock has really declined since the beginning of the semester. It looks like Collins has gone up. Naomi's is about the same. Stevens is about the same. Egan is about the same. So anyway, okay. And if you're in a different semester from when I'm recording these videos, then you won't know any of these students. All right. So let's go back. I've done that. That should automatically save. And I'm going to double check. I've completed all of the requirements for Chapter 3. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to save my sheet, and I'm done with Chapter 3. See you in the next chapter.